Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Model Mama Show. I am your host, Tara Tenner, and we have an inspiring mama today on our show, Amy Tangerine. I'm so excited for you to join us.
I'm so glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
You are so welcome. Okay, Amy is amazing. She just launched her book, her very first book, Craft a Life You Love. I can't wait to read it. Even the cover is just as beautiful as you.
Thank you.
She has a really fun and super successful YouTube channel. She is a designer and, most importantly, an incredible mama.
Thanks.
And also a professional scrapbooker, and sells really fun scrapbooking tools and accessories, and sort of, I've seen her take notes, you guys. We're in Hey Mama together, this amazing platform for women, and I was sitting a couple seats away from you, and I looked over. This was before I had even introduced myself, but I'm like, I have to meet this woman. Her notes are like the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life, and it's so incredible that that just comes so naturally to you.
Thanks.
Yeah.
I put a lot of effort into it. You know,
Really,
because
when you make it look easy.
if things stick, it looks better to me when it's brush lettered out.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know. I just wanted to copy your notes. But let's dive into, I mean, you're obviously juggling lots of things. You have a very successful career that's so creative and inspiring to others, and you're also a mom. So let's just start at the beginning. So when you start your morning with your son, what are your tips for keeping your morning on track and getting out the door on time?
It's funny because I wake up super early on my own. So naturally I wake up between 5:30 and 6 typically.
Wow.
And he sleeps in. So he's not up until after 7. So I have a whole hour and a half to myself to get things done usually.
That's lovely.
And to, take my time and ease into my morning. Mm-hmm. My morning ritual is so important to me. And so if I end up sleeping in, or if something happens where he wakes up early on a fluke, I get thrown off.
Okay.
I need some time to myself. I need at least 30 minutes.
Yes.
To just sort of ease into the morning. I used to just grab my phone right away and then be, scrolling away,
yes.
trying to plan my day. But now I'm more intentional about how I spend those few
minutes to yourself.
Yes, yes. And I love doing some morning journaling. I stretch. My number one thing is I drink a full glass of water.
Ooh, that's
right
a good
when
one.
I wake up.
Before coffee.
Yes. And now I'm not doing caffeine at the moment. So yeah, it's crazy.
I didn't know you could be a mom without caffeine.
It's not that hard, but trust me, if you don't have to do it, don't do it. I tried to switch to tea.
Okay.
And that was working for a little while, and then now I'm just not doing caffeine. Luckily, I have a lot of natural energy.
Or for health reasons?
Yeah,
or
just for
personal?
some health things that I'm going through. Mm-hmm. And my acupuncturist suggested to eliminate caffeine, sugar, gluten, and alcohol. And let me just tell you, it's been a journey. Yes.
Hard. That sounds really hard.
It's hard, but we mamas can do so much.
Yeah.
And when it comes to our health, that's the most important thing.
And also setting an example.
I'd rather not take a bunch of medication if I don't have to. So
Absolutely.
Let's just try it with these few diet adjustments and see how it goes.
And how do you feel?
I feel fine. I always felt good no matter what.
I know, look at her. She's so happy. I just want to sit next to you all day.
I just think that I love the ritual of coffee. I love, getting together with people and having a coffee meeting, and I love the taste of it. But it turns out, I don't really need it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Even just sometimes having a hot cup of water with lemon is really kind of gives you that same essence.
You know what? I've been trying that too, and I love it. I love the feeling of it, and it just sort of sets you into this routine and ritual. So I have my, let's say, hot water with lemon, and then I will begin a 10-minute journaling practice. Yeah. And I'll just spill all my thoughts onto paper, and nobody sees that book. That's not even my to-do list or my bullet journal or anything. I'll just spill it onto paper. And sometimes I don't take up the whole 10 minutes, but I think that that's just a really wonderful way to feel like you're aligned and you're intentional about how you spend the rest of your day.
Yes. Do you write out sort of your mission for the day or your goals for the day?
Yes, and
Oh.
sometimes I'll write down things that I need to let go of, which is a new practice for me.
Yes.
Because I was always trying to write out my to-do list and all the things that I need to get done. But I
Right.
realized that sometimes what's holding you back is actually the things that you haven't let go of yet.
So true.
And through that practice, I found such lightness and clarity. And I think that's probably what the diet has shown me. Like eliminating all those
interesting.
things, I'm just a little bit more clear
Yeah.
on how I need to spend my time and what's important.
Yes, and you are busy. We can see that. So what, and you've always been a designer though, because you started out, I was reading more about your bio and your journey to launching your incredible book and your YouTube channel, but you were saying that you've literally been a designer since you were little.
Yes, I've always been into making things. I've always been crafty. My mom had these weekend projects planned, and she would sew matching mommy and me dresses for us. And I
So
think
cute.
through her love of creativity, I really found that that was sort of my passion. And even though I was only doing it on the side, and obviously I was, growing up and having fun, but I loved going back to making things with my hands.
Okay. And is that very calming for you because it just makes you sort of you have to be present, right? When you're creating something. So that's the essence of it, right?
Exactly. I think there's so much to it because when you're sitting there and let's say you're just sewing something by hand, and that's actually how I started my business, is I started hand crocheting these arm warmers when I was a fashion stylist, and I could wear them on photo shoots. And then I ended up embroidering these tank tops and t-shirts by hand. So the ritual of, let's say, I would normally sit down to just watch TV only, but back then I would have the TV on or watch a movie, Sex and the City back then, and get my embroidery on and then feel like I was also doing something for myself where I was, creating something, but then I always was being entertained too.
Yeah, that's amazing.
That was before YouTube. This was many years ago.
So being a mom, do you really encourage your son, Jack? Do you encourage him to do a lot of arts and crafts? Are you that mom that brings out all these fun projects?
So I don't plan projects out as much as I show him what I'm doing. So I could be doing something. I'll tell him, hey, Mama's going to watercolor. Would you like to join me? And, sometimes he doesn't feel like it. But other times he just jumps right in and wants to do it. And if he's playing with Lego or something, he'll even bring those Lego over and then we'll be building stuff. And then I want to go ahead and do some of my bullet journaling or planning. And he'll see me scrapbooking and he'll want to play too.
Oh, that's incredible.
Yeah. He used to say, so my studio's in the back of my house, and he used to come in when he was about 1.5 years or 2 years old, and he would say, "Mine want to work too. Mine want to work too." And I just remember thinking, that was so sweet that
cute.
he, saw me doing my job, but then he wanted to be a part of it.
Yes. That is incredible. Way to set such a good example, to just be present and then just for them to use their hands and create things.
Yeah, no, he loves it. We always make handmade cards for people. And so he'll, voluntarily say, hey, can we grab some markers and crayons to make cards?
Wow.
I want to make cards for people. I said, sure, absolutely. I will never say no to an art project.
Yeah.
If your kid ever wants to make something with you, you should always just take a break from whatever you're doing because who knows, their attention span might only be 15 minutes anyway.
Yeah, I know. This morning when I was dropping Henry off at preschool, he was like, Mama, we make cupcakes later? And I'm like, okay, and twist my arm. Who doesn't want to make cupcakes?
Absolutely. Yes. Anytime that you can get the chance to spend quality time together doing something.
Truly.
That he's so proud of too, I'm sure.
Yes.
They taste better when you make them.
Yes, they do. They totally do. But so you're lucky that you work from home and you have this space that allows you to do that. But do you sort of set boundaries between being a mom and work mode? Do you do the time blocking or because that's really the essence of this show is all about the transition to motherhood, because before motherhood, we all were running 1,000,000 miles an hour, flying by the seat of our pants, launching businesses, doing different amazing things. And then the pace changes a little bit when you become a mom, and you really have to pivot and refocus and figure out what works for you. So how did you make that transition?
Oh gosh, I think that transition happened, I think that first of all, I put too much pressure on myself at the beginning. I didn't give myself a maternity leave. I didn't,
Well, when you're an
I
entrepreneur,
thought that I could just do it all. I had this misconception that I could literally do it all at the same time. And so it took me a while to recalibrate. And obviously, you go through phases, right? Because once I rounded a corner at 6 months and realized that I could balance a little bit more work and taking care of him, then it comes to be, a year old where he's not nursing anymore and he's walking. And then that has its own set of challenges. And you really have to schedule things out. So I found this rhythm now currently because he is 4.5. But through it all, I think that one of the things that I really learned, and this is something that I go over in my book, is that you have to allow yourself permission to do what works for you.
yes.
And it's okay if that phase only lasts 3 months. It's not going to be like this forever. And recognizing that was such a big deal to me because I just thought that I would never get sleep again.
Yeah, it's a season.
Yes.
It's not a forever thing.
It's not a forever thing.
True.
Yeah. So really giving yourself grace, I think, is so important, especially when you're transitioning.
Or launching a new bit. Like I'm sure in the, weeks, months leading up to launching your new book, you were probably busier than normal, but you had to remind yourself that it's okay because once this book launches, there will obviously be lots of work to do, but you can have probably a more predictable schedule maybe.
Yeah, so now I've gotten to a predictable schedule because I set it. I had to set the boundaries. So for instance, before he went to preschool, my mom lives in our guest house, so she was watching him.
That's amazing.
But she would just allow him to come to my studio to say hi to me. But then he would go into I want to work too, and because I would have to take those little breaks throughout the day, I realized that I actually had to get a studio outside of the house. So I actually moved out for about 9 months. And it really made me focus and say, hey, these are the 3 days that I can have full work days. And then the 2 other days I can have a little bit more flexible. That way, when I'm at work, I'm actually doing the work. And then when I'm home, I can be fully present for him.
Yeah.
I felt very torn. I felt guilty when I was working.
Can we talk about mom guilt?
Oh, it's the worst. I never felt guilt before he was born.
I know.
I really didn't. And I think navigating through that guilt is something that's so important for people to recognize that, you know what, you're just doing the best you can.
Yes.
And you'll get through it. And it's okay to say, look, I'm just going through this right now. And I think that people will be very understanding, and I think that admitting it to yourself, I think first, was really difficult for me. And once I was able to, obviously my husband saw it.
Yes.
And so once I was able to get him on board and he was able to say, hey, look, it's okay. I think this is what you should do. Let's talk about this. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
It seems
well, that's
like
nice that your husband was so understanding. My husband's like, well, then don't do it. And then I'm like, well, then I want to do it. He's like, then do it. He's like, either don't do it or not. But it's not that.
If it was that cut
simple.
and dry, yeah, sometimes it is black and white. And I think that from their perspective, I see the good in that too, because it makes you think okay, I really want to do it. I'll make it happen.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out how to make this happen.
Yeah.
And I think that realizing that I couldn't always be in 2 places at once, even though I wanted to bring him to work events. And I'm so grateful that I get to.
Yes.
When I travel to teach scrapbooking classes around the world, they get to meet him a lot of times. And I think it's such a blessing.
Yes.
But at the same
so
time,
fun for him to get to experience new cities and yeah. You know what? Honestly, I think the biggest takeaway for me and really the essence of why I wanted to start this positive platform where we could have these discussions is because everybody feels mom guilt to varying degrees. But I think instead of feeling mom guilt, you have to sort of just be so present in what you're doing, because I think if you can get past the mom guilt, at least I've found, it's I am so much more fulfilled in everything I do because you don't take that time for granted.
so true. I love that. And I think
Right?
it's really it really boils down to being present.
Yes.
My therapist told me the other day that because we do so much, you know, as busy moms, we just do so much. And she said, you realize that we're not called human doings, we're called human beings.
Ooh, that's
so
a good
when's
one.
the last time you just let yourself be? And I think that's with having to be present, you can absolutely tune into those important things that you need to focus on. And then you can be with your children and feel like you're not, you know, doing the work, but that's okay because you're not at work.
Yeah.
You're
You're
not,
right.
You're not meant to be.
You're right.
Yeah.
And then it makes, like, even when you are at work, you enjoy it because it's either a break or it's like fulfilling your other creative passions, and it's a win-win. You just have to really give yourself the time to enjoy both, and let's like eliminate the mom guilt.
Yes. Yes. If there was a pill you could take for that, I would take it.
I would totally take it because it's the worst feeling. And you're right. It's like you don't experience it until you're a mom and you're in the thick of it. And then there's like no way to explain it. But we're helping everybody navigate that awful mom guilt together. Yes. So where can we find you, and where can we find your amazing book that I can't wait to read?
Well, thanks. I'm at Amy Tangerine on pretty much everything.
Awesome.
So amytangerine.com. I have a blog that I've been doing for
That's incredible,
since
you guys.
2007. But yeah, find me on YouTube, find me on Instagram,
Okay.
say hi. And my book is at Amazon. It's at Barnes & Noble stores.
Awesome.
So yeah.
And
check it
you
out.
guys have to watch Amy on YouTube because I didn't get her to laugh, but she has the cutest laugh. That's so fun.
I was telling you earlier that I can't stand my own laugh. So,
I know,
yeah,
but I love it.
you can
It's
hear
so
plenty.
endearing and so fun.
Thank
And you have to watch her YouTube channel because it's so great. I mean, it followed her to San Francisco for her big book launch at the Pinterest headquarters. How incredible was that?
It was so much fun. And what's great about, I think, YouTube in general and being able to create digital content is that people feel like they're there with you. So
I
they
did when I was
experience it
watching
with
it.
you.
Yeah.
So
I know. Do you shoot your own video?
I do.
I know. I've literally felt like I was like on your shoulder, like just hanging out.
I'm so glad you could join.
And I love so she's so fun to watch you, and you get like all this creative inspiration for life and living and motherhood, and it was such a pleasure talking to you. Thanks
Thank
for
you
joining
so much
us.
for having me.
Yeah. Well, until next time, hopefully we will have you back because you're incredible. Thank you guys so much for watching. And this is Tara and Amy signing off from the Model Mama Show. See you next time.